this, and this will be my review of the Royal Rumble. And as most of you can already tell, I'm wearing the Evil shirt. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is he wearing the Evil shirt? Why is he wearing this, particularly after watching the Royal Rumble and the fact that this almost ruined the Royal Rumble? There's a reason for that. You see, Dinosaur Avenger already did his review and had the audacity to do a video before me. He didn't wait for me to come up and then, and then judge the pay-per-view after what I said. He didn't, do his ratings after my ratings. He didn't do any of that. He had the audacity to go on before me. And in this video, he wore a CM Punk shirt. And much the same way that Triple H tonight made short work of the Messiah, CM Punk. I must put Dinosaur Avenger in his place and let him know, you can't be doing that, son. You can't be doing that. I'm kidding. Go watch Dinosaur. I'm going to do this a video response. Go watch Dinosaur's review. Really good review. If there is a guy that I would say is the most improved guy since I've gotten on YouTube, it would be him. He got on here. He knows most of us think this. He got on here. Was not the most charismatic guy in the world. And is far from that now. He's very entertaining and a lot of fun. So go watch his video. This is just me kind of just having fun with him. But anyways, the Royal Rumble was tonight. The start of the road to the WrestleMania. The playoffs, if you will. The to the championship game that is WrestleMania. So we had that tonight. I would say it was good as far as a pay-per-view. I wouldn't say it was great. I didn't enjoy it that much. Only because I didn't think the undercard was all that great. Not that I think the undercard needs to be that great, but I just felt like it was just kind of there. And then when we got to the Royal Rumble match, well, I thought it was great. I mean, it's hard for the Royal Rumble match to not be great. I didn't think it necessary to save the pay-per-view, but that's just me. I just didn't necessarily feel it. I thought they did some good things, but not necessarily a lot of great things. But anyways, let me start off. First match we got was the opening match, Christian versus Ezekiel Jackson. This was surprisingly better than I thought it would be. They gave it a lot of time, and during all this time, because parts of it were kind of slow and prodding. I kept thinking, why didn't they give Punk and Elijah Burke this much time when they were feuding over the ECW Championship? Just something that popped in my head. But they gave them a good amount of time. Let them go out there like Christian kind of sell for Ezekiel Jackson. And, Ezekiel Jackson has a good body, does some pretty good power moves. I think that one of the things about him that I think would help him out tremendously if he was in a tag team. I find it funny they spent all this time making those tag team titles actually mean something, and yet they still make the tag team division still fairly non-existent. And here's a guy that I think would benefit greatly from being in a tag team, because if he was just in a match, maybe 5 minutes in a 12-minute match, doing nothing but power moves, I think the guy would get over, and I think the guy would get over very well. But just putting him in there, being an ECW guy, putting him in there with Christian, it's not really going to work. Though him and Christian did manage to do some stuff and get the crowd into it by the time the match was over, and which was good. So, 2.5 stars. It was what it was. I was happy expecting Ezekiel Jackson to win, but Christian did win. I know I usually don't give spoilers, but that was also good because that was the right way to end it. So it was that. Then we got a surprise matchup after some bad behind skits. I usually don't talk about skits, but there was some bad skits on this pay-per-view. I think that's probably why I didn't like it so much. Usually I'm kind of indifferent about the skits, but this was some bad stuff. And which led to The Miz versus MVP for the United States Championship. They were going along, having an okay kind of match, and then the ending just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was just kind of there, and it was okay, nothing too offensive. And then we had Sheamus versus Randy Orton, and I did not like this match. I did not like this match at all. Sheamus came out, and it was to crickets. Randy Orton came out, big ovation. Randy Orton was definitely the one that was far more over. I don't hate Sheamus. Even I don't like the fact that he's being pushed, but I don't hate Sheamus. I think Sheamus has probably done as good a job as he probably could have with the situation. The problem is I just don't think he was the right guy, and I think that might come back to haunt him because, over the last 5 years, I would say, There are definitely guys that were over far more than Sheamus that never got this shot, and people have been waiting for somebody to get this type of push, and it's this guy. And I think that you saw this tonight, where the crowd, once they figured out that, once they thought, I shouldn't say figure out because that's not exactly what happened, but once they thought Sheamus was going to beat Randy Orton, the crowd just died until Randy Orton started making a comeback, and then they came back alive because they thought he was going to beat Sheamus, and it wasn't the right time. It was, you know, people say, oh, well, you know, Sheamus is a heel, he's supposed to have that. He's not supposed to have it to the extent where the crowd is dead, where they're just like, yay, oh no, you know, that. I mean, there were some people trying to get some stuff started, but it really didn't work. The ending of the match was good. The stuff after the match I thought was really good with Legacy, but the match itself I didn't find very enjoyable at all. It was kind of slow and prodding and just kind of there, and just, you know, I would say it was as good as the opener, but that'd be about it. Definitely did not like it that much. Then we had Michelle McCOOL versus Mickie James. This was basically more of a segment. They showed the entire Piggy James stuff and did a really good job of this video package. I mean, this was like a really good video package of this angle, so you really got the angle. And then Michelle McCOOL came out, did the thing that she's the worst at, which is promos. I mean, it was horrible. She did this bad promo. And then Layla came out and did, you know, as Piggy James. And then finally Mickie James came out. The match lasted all of like 8 seconds. Mickie won, which was cool. Then all of the face divas came out, and they threw a cake into their face. And it was actually a very good segment. The match was non-existent, but the overall segment was actually really good. It was kind of a feel-good segment. And this is the type of thing that WWE could do better with a lot of their feuds, and they don't. I mean, here's a women's match where they did really kind of a good angle. I think it could have been even done better, to be honest, where you had, you know, Michelle McCOOL making fun of Mickie James, and Mickie James kind of, you know, just this sort of, you know, thing where girls could look up to Mickie James type of thing, and where you don't have to look like a model and all that sort of stuff. You know, not that everybody out there looks like Mickie James, don't get me wrong. But you know, these are the types of things I think the WWE could do a lot more with the divas, and they don't do it. And it's kind of, you know, I don't know. Then we had the Undertaker versus Rey Mysterio. Not very long, but I thought it was very good. They did what they needed to do. Rey went out there, you know, dove around. You know, there was blood in the match. It was hard way, but they did do blood, and they didn't stop it. So I think they learned their lesson there. But you know, it had a pretty good ending. We had some pretty good spots. Undertaker didn't look totally, you know, out of it, with the bad knees and bad hips and everything. So that was good. Was enjoyable. Really liked it on the undercard. This is probably my favorite thing on the entire undercard by a lot, except for the you know, the women's segment. So they had that. Then we had the Royal Rumble match, which was pretty good. It was pretty great, actually. I wouldn't call it one of the best Royal Rumble matches. Wouldn't call it one of the worst. It was kind of just really good, I would say. And for a Rumble match, it's kind of hard for them to suck. And started out pretty good. You had Dolph Ziggler and Evan Bourne come out, which was kind of surprising. Evan Bourne got some of his offense in. They definitely let everybody get in their spots, which was kind of cool, but none of the underneath guys were allowed to be in there long enough to look like they belonged to be in there long enough. The early part of the match was really just this great thing where CM Punk came out third, you know, threw out both guys, and then started cutting promos, talking about, you know, the straight edge lifestyle, and he was the straight edge messiah, and every guy that would come out, he would ask them, he goes, you know, you want to join me, and it was very good. Couldn't go on forever, of course, but was really good. Punk got mad over during this. Kind of ended when Great Khali came out. Attacked Punk, and then Beth Phoenix came out, to which the WWE said, you know, this is the announcers, which was horrible. Michael Cole is so bad. Will somebody please get Michael Cole? JR, please come back, please, or just get somebody. Michael Cole is just so, he's so bad. But Beth Phoenix came out. They said, you know, she was the second woman ever to be in the Royal Rumble, which is kind of weird because they had, done a lot of stuff with Beth taking on guys, where China, they had built China completely around China taking on guys. So this was kind of surprising. She kind of stared down Khali. Khali put her outside, and then she kissed Khali and pulled Khali outside, eliminating Khali, which was a pretty good spot. And she got go to sleep by Punk, and then Punk threw her out, and Punk started cutting more promos. And this went on until Triple H came out and ruined the fun. Him and Punk had a pretty... If you saw their SmackDown match, they actually had a pretty good little match on SmackDown, which was kind of disappointing given the fact that I think Hunter may have been in the match for 5 minutes, and then he eliminated Punk, which was kind of bad because I thought Punk should have stayed in there longer, and at least been in there with the top guys. That would be my only real problem with this Royal Rumble, was that none of the younger guys were really made to look like they belonged in the ring with the older guys, or with the top guys. And that's probably the biggest problem the WWE has right now. They keep wanting to push these young guys, but you can't push guys if you're not going to convince people that these guys belong in the same ring or even in the same hemisphere as your top guys. That has to change. And that would be the thing that really disappointed me. It was a lot of fun stuff. Like I said, all the guys kind of got in their spots. I thought John Morrison did a really good job. He hit this really weird around-the-world DDT that was kind of cool. But yeah, everybody, Matt Hardy was only in the match for, maybe a minute, maybe. I mean, there was lots of that. There was a lot of guys coming in, hitting their spots, and then getting eliminated. And it's like, after you see that for a while, it kind of just like, can we please keep going? Eventually, when Punk got eliminated, I was pissed off because they'd done such a great job, and Triple H eliminates Punk, almost like, okay, you got the CM Punk chant, now we gotta get rid of you. Bye, go away. Don't take my heat away. Even though that got a really big pop, but I think that was more, Punk has been a very good heel. And, which made it surprising when Triple H got eliminated by HBK, which made me very happy indeed. And then we got down to HBK. Let's see, who was it? HBK, Cena, Jericho. I think someone else was in the ring at that point too. And then Edge made his surprise return. He came back, which was a pretty cool thing. He speared everybody. And then Batista came in, and then we had the Final Four. Batista eliminated HBK, which was a big, huge, kind of shock moment, which I'm glad they did because it just adds more drama to the whole weekend. See him, and then HBK did this great thing where he just looked like he lost it. He was just kind of because it means so much to him to take on The Undertaker and beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania that he kind of lost it, which was really cool. Good. Then it looked like we were going to be stuck with Cena winning. Instead, Edge won, which was a nice little surprise. So that part of it was good. I thought they told they did a lot of good stories and set up lots of good storylines within the Rumble. Sometimes that's the thing that they don't do a good enough job of. But at the same time, I don't think they did a lot of guys any favors either. Where, historically you've always had somebody kind of rise up like our shooting kind of star guy from the Rumble. And we really didn't get that in that. And I think that was the only thing that was kind of missing. It was kind of a short Rumble, but I don't think it was overly short. Wasn't quite 50 minutes. But I think that's okay. I don't think I think as long as it's over 45 minutes, I think that's okay. It doesn't have to be an hour every time out. So there's that. So anyways, with that, I'm out. I give this a 7.5. I would say I don't think it's a must see. I think they did a really good job of setting everything up, and I think No Way Out is shaping up to be pretty good, to be honest. I think there's lots of questions to be asked, and I think Raw should be interesting tomorrow. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how things work out. So with that, I'm out. Have a good one, and later.